In the last session or lesson, we wrote an extended access list. All we did was to deny the host 2.100 and permitted any wildcard bits is the inverse to the subnet mask that we implemented, which permits anyone in the case of 2.101 and 2.102, they would be able to enter, and it was applied closest to the source, and we wrote commands for that. So we can deny or permit a port of services as well. In this tutorial here, we're going to be doing this one. You can deny beyond other services, and we're going to first and foremost look at a web server. So what we will do is implement what I could do is go to end device, go to a server, add this server here, right? Bring it down here and add it to the one network instead. I'll take a straight through cable, right, and attach it to this Ethernet port. I'm going to give this an IP address of 192.168.1, so I'll attach to the one network at 254. Right? I'll go in the configuration here as well, and I will go to desktop IP address 192.168.1.254. I take the subnet mask, and my default gateway will be 192.168.1.1 will be its default gateway. Right? And one of the things I would do is that I'm going to go to my web services, and by the time I was to type in an IP address here, you'll see that all my web services are on here under this port here, port 80, and we will go to our one of these PCs on the two network to see if we can access HTTP services that comes from this thing. Because this whole lesson here, I'm going to show you how we could use a port, all right, in extended access list to deny or permit IP transactions from coming on to the network. And just remember, we only specifically write in the access list for that port, right? So what we're going to do now is adapt this access list to allow the two network web access to this network here, or port 80, access to the one network, but we will allow only web services alone, but deny the 1.100, but permit us to reach the 4.100 network up here too as well now. Alright? And the web service port is on 80. So we don't want to get to the 1.100 network. All we just basically want to access these web services. Alright? But at the same time, we should be able to reach the 4 network. So basically, if you are supposed to ping from one of these PCs, it would not get on the one network. But if you also open the PC to get on the web services, it will be able to access web services, and that's what it's going to do. Alright, so we'll go to our router 1. Right, and of course, you know, these things have to apply closest to the source. Right, const. We just control exit this and do it again. Oops. Enable. Control X. Alright. Let's see if we get it on this. You see Alt F6. One bad command. command that I write here that actually stick my packet tracer. What I'm going to do is to pause the video now to see if I could get this to work. Alright, so we're back in. We just had a little issue there because of how I typed that incorrect command, so I'm going to make sure I execute the command properly. Alright, so I'm going to go into conf t as usual. What I want to do is to first and foremost remove that access list. I'm going to go no access list, right, 100, in order for me to achieve what I want to achieve. Right, and what I want to do is to permit the TCP web port protocol, which is port 80, and we're going to do a source IP with the wildcard bits and the destination IP, but we're going to equate it to a port number. Right, so we'll begin by writing this access list over access dash list. Alright, and of course I'm going to use back the 100 again, and I'm going to permit TCP. Alright, and I'll need to extend this out a little bit here so you all could see what I'm working with here. To permit TCP 192.168, and we'll go with the 2 network 2.0. Alright, and we'll use the wildcard bits in this case here. Now if you realize I didn't use any specific host, I just use the 2 network. Right, and we want to be able to permit a host, so I'm going to put a host here, the server, which is 192.168.1.254. Alright, now we ain't finished as yet because we could press a question mark here and could bring up a whole set of commands that we're looking for, and we want to use this equate command here, EQ, to match the specific port number. So you're going to put EQ, alright, EQ, and then I'll put the port number 80. Right, and I'll press enter. Alright, so basically we permitted the TCP port for the source network, which is 2.1. We want to be able to access this web host, but at the same time we would want to permit for us to reach only that port number, and specifically not to reach the 1 network, but we could probably permit the 4 network too at the same time. So we ain't finished as yet because we have to also write an access list to permit us to reach the 4 network. Alright, so you go access list, and of course my access will be 100, and I'm going to permit IP in this case here because we want to reach, we want the 2 network, the 2.0, and of course my wildcard bits, and I want to be able to reach the 4 network 192.168, and I'll have to use a wildcard bit here because it didn't specify any host, but only 4 network itself, and it will be 0.0.0.255. Alright, now because we wrote these 2 access lists and we didn't put any denial statement, it will implicitly deny the 1 network because it is not in our access list. So what we could do now is apply to the interface. So go to the interface, and of course the interface that is closest to the source, fast eternal 0/1, and we're going to apply our access group. And of course, group is 100 inbound. Alright, and we will exit again, copy, run, start. Right? Cool. So we could go now to the 2.100 network. Right? Let me just close off this. Right? And we could load a web server. Let's see if we could access 192.168.1.254. Right? And we see that we're getting some traffic here because we specifically only allow the two network to access that particular port. Right? But what if you're supposed to open the command prompt now? Right? 2.100. So you go to desktop, command prompt, and we try to ping one network dot 1.100. Right? We would see that it's unreachable. And as you notice, where the source is coming from 2.1, because we apply it to the source, which is closest to the source now. Alright? So we see that it's unreachable to the one network. Alright? So we will be able to ping 1.254 because we only ask for port 80 now, for us to basically for us to access port 80. So we will not be able to ping, in this case, as you can see here, the one network. Alright, let's try one more test now. Alright, let's see if we could reach the 4 network, because we remember we put a statement inside it that we will be able to reach. So let's go 4.100. Alright, and we'll just wait until the address resolution protocol kick in. Alright, so you see that's how we was able to reach the 4 network, because of the fact is that we allowed only the 4 network to be reached, but we also allow only the port 80 to reach on the 1 network, but not the actual 1.100. Alright, so today we learn about ports. So let me see if I have to make any changes to this now here. So in my configuration list would be denied. It wouldn't be denied in this case, but it would be permit. Right? It would be permit. And when we permit IP, it will be permit TCP. Right? 2.100 wildcard bricks. No, 2.10 because it's a 2 network. So you're going to use wildcard bricks at the bottom here as 255. Right? And we also wanted to get the host. So I'm going to put host. And we wanted to reach the 1.254. Right? We don't need the wildcard bits here because we specific the host, but we equated to the port number 80. Right? And we also asked to permit the IP. Right? So we'll have to do another thing here because we didn't say permit any in this case here. So we permit IP address. That would be 192.168.0.0.0.255. Right, and we wanted it to reach 192.168.4 network. Because we didn't say a host, we'll have to use the wildcard bits 0.0.0.255. Right, I everything else is the same as IP access group inbound. Right, so this was a access list that we wrote to the two network to access the host, but only on TCP port, but they will not be able to ping the 1.100 because it's implicitly denied, as you can see in our access list here. And we also give them permission to reach the 4 network, which is this network up here too as well. Alright. So our next lesson we will talk about name access lists. Stay tuned.